Hello you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a great week. This week my sister's coming to town and I'm so excited, which is probably why I'm not freaking out as much as I usually would be. So, I filmed an entire Sunday reset. Like, moved a bed into my office because it's the guest room for my sisters, filmed everything, all my laundry, everything. It was gonna be such a good video. But I got these little puff things to put on my camera to like modify like wind sounds and whatnot. But for some reason, it decided to just completely ruin my audio. And I went to edit it and the sound was like, I'm like, what is that? So, don't buy these. With that, however, I decided to just do a sit-down talking video, and I put some things together, and I will be doing 21 pieces of advice before you turn 21. Now, listen, I'm not an expert on advice, but I am 21, and my sisters say I give good advice, so that's enough validation for me. So honestly, let's just get right into it. So, first piece of advice is find some sort of workout that you like and that works for you. There's so many different kinds of workouts that you can do. You can weight lift, you can run, you can do Pilates, you can do yoga. Just something to get your mind and your body moving, because it can release so many endorphins and it can really boost your mood levels. I started working out about 3 years ago, and I had done sports my entire life, but as soon as I got out of college and I stopped playing sports competitively, I realized that I didn't really know what I was doing. Like in the gym, I didn't know how to work out. So it took me a long time to like actually figure out how to work out. And I realized that for me, I love weightlifting, but I also love just like small movements as well. I've never tried Pilates, but I would love to. But going on a walk, going on a run, even though I hate running, I still enjoy it, if that makes any sense at all. I enjoy just the movement. So find something that works for you. My second piece of advice is you and only you can control yourself and your emotions. I say this because like most people, when they get upset about something, they don't get upset at themselves first. They get upset at the other thing. So, I mean, honestly, for example, like take the filming of my video that I filmed but couldn't use because of the sound quality. My first thought was to blame Amazon because I bought the little puff things from them. But in all reality, if you actually think about it, I'm sure the puff things work. I can't remember what the reviews said. I'm sure they work, but I probably put it on wrong. It's my bad. And only I can control how I feel about the situation and how I react to the situation. And this goes for everything in life as well. The third thing on my list is that we are our own worst critics. By this I mean, everyone puts ideas into our heads of who we are, what we should be doing. And it all boils down to who you are and who you want to be. I personally love myself, but I didn't always love myself. I struggled for a long time with depression, and I still struggle with anxiety to this day. I still struggle with depression, but not nearly as bad. And it's kind of just something that I can't control, but learning who you are and learning that you are your own worst critic and everyone else's opinions about you are nothing, it truly helps your outlook on life. I did not mean for all of these to kind of play into each other. But my next piece of advice is actually from a book called Girl Wash Your Face. I read it about 5 years ago, and this quote has been engraved in my brain, and I think about it all of the time. The quote is, "Other people's opinions about you are none of your business." Listen to that again. Other people's opinion about you are none of your business. Whatever other people think about you has nothing to do with you. The only thing that has to do with you is how you think about yourself. So don't listen to other people's opinions about you, listen to your own. Next, don't accept an answer that you don't understand. So, for example, when you were younger and you asked your parents like, "Hey, can I go stay at so-and-so's house tonight?" And they're like, "No." And you're like, "Why?" And they're like, "Because I said so." As a kid, you didn't understand that. And honestly, as a 21-year-old, I still don't understand that. Next is everything happens for a good reason. I know you've heard the term, everyone's heard the term, everything happens for a reason. It's one of my favorite things to say. I'm actually getting it tattooed on my leg at some point. I don't know when, but at some point I'm going to. But everything happens for a good reason. When bad things happen, it's kind of hard to sit back and realize that this is happening for a reason. But small things lead to big things. I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for the small things. A lot of things that I will never understand why they happened for a reason. And it's always a good reason, because there is bad things in life that suck, that tear you apart, that make you want to go into a corner and cry for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But every single outcome will end up leading to a good outcome in your life, whether you know it now or not. My next piece of advice is something that kind of hits a little too close to home, if you know what I mean. You can plan to be a millionaire, but it doesn't have to be tomorrow. What I mean by that is you can come up with this elaborate plan in your head. You are going to start a business. You are going to put this much money into this, and you are going to create the life that you've always wanted to live. But if you plan for it to happen tomorrow, you will fail. If you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a millionaire because I'm gonna win the lottery," and you buy a single ticket for $1 tomorrow and you don't win and you give up, you failed. You can't put a deadline on big things like this, because you will just set yourself up for failure. You can't put a deadline on life. Like, when I was younger, I was like, yes, I'm going to be married and have kids by 25 because I'm going to be a young mom, and I'm going to have all my kids under the age of 25. Like, girl, I'm 21 and I couldn't imagine having a kid right now. I won't be done with school until I'm 22. So that gives me, what, 3 years to get married, have kids. Like, a deadline just doesn't seem right, right? So, planning to be a millionaire, I could plan that my business is gonna take off. I don't have a business. I could plan that it's gonna take off and I'm gonna start it tomorrow. But if I start it tomorrow, it will not make me a millionaire tomorrow. So, don't set yourself up for failure. Plan to be a millionaire, but don't make it for tomorrow. Next piece of advice is go on that trip. That's it. I'm just kidding. Go on the trip. Last year, actually last year, I'm filming this on July 24th. Last year, I was living in Texas. That's a whole nother story. I actually filmed a video on why I moved back about a year ago, and then shortly after that, I stopped doing YouTube for a while. Go back to that. Anyways, go on the trip with your friends. I ended up finding friends on TikTok, and 2 of them and I decided to go to Houston, to go to Alphaland, and it was the best time of my life. I had so much fun. I had never met these people before. I had no idea what they were like. I knew what they looked like. I kind of knew what they sounded like because like we had FaceTimed a couple times. That was pretty much it. And in retrospect, it is a little bit sketchy because it was 2 guys, but they're great. They're great. And I would not know like what it's like to go on a trip like that if I didn't go. It was so much fun. I literally had the time of my life. Okay, this next piece of advice is a little controversial to me just because of what I went through. But move away from your hometown in your 20s. The issue with this is when I did move away from my hometown at 20 years old, it was a really bad situation. But I wouldn't change it for the world. Because, like I said earlier, everything happens for a good reason. I moved back home and I enjoyed my small town more than I did before. Granted, I'm not going to live here for the rest of my life. I never planned on living in my town for the rest of my life, but I wasn't ready to move as soon as I did. So, whether you're moving and you realize that the place that you were in before your hometown is the place that's meant for you, perfect. Or you're moving and you figure out that that is the place for you, or another place is the place for you, or the 5th place you end up moving to is the place for you, good. The world has so much to offer that being stuck in your hometown can be so dreadful. And you need to learn to accept it after you've realized what else there is to offer, if that makes sense. Now that I'm saying it, it kind of doesn't make sense. But it does. The 10th piece of advice is no one can love you until you love yourself. I've said it once, I'll say it again. No one can love you until you can love yourself. If you don't know how to love yourself, you don't know what love will look like. Love from family is different than love from a significant other. My significant other loves me more than I can ever even imagine. But, you know who loves me more? Myself. I love myself. I have, in a sense, always loved myself, but I've learned to love myself just a little bit more. And I'm glad that I did, because I feel as though I'm capable of love and I'm worthy of love because I know that I can give it to myself. But before I met my boyfriend, before I did this like healing journey of myself and tried to make myself a better person, I didn't love myself like I do now. I thought I loved myself, and that just led to really bad habits of drinking too much and just trying to fit in. I can't remember where I was because my ring light shutting off just threw me off guard. So we're moving on. Whatever I had to say, I said it. That was it. Next is keep searching for your passion, because at 21 years old, I feel as though I know what my passion is, but I also thought that 2 years ago I knew what my passion was, and it's changed since then. So just because I think I know what my passion is now doesn't mean that I am not open to figuring out what it could be as well. This next one is my favorite. Shoot your shot. Do it. Why not? I wouldn't be in the happiest, healthiest relationship I've ever seen if I didn't shoot my shot. If I had not shot my shot, Kelly and I wouldn't be together. Kelly's gonna watch this and be like, yo, what the fuck? He likes to tell me that he was the one who did it, but he's not. He's not. It was me. It was all me. I did it all. Now we're together and we're so in love, so happy. It's great. I love it. And I have never been so happy in my whole life. I've never met anyone who could make someone this happy, let alone myself. Shoot your shot. It's worth it. Learn how to cook easy meals. Because girl, if you're taking food advice from anyone, it better not be me, because I can't fucking cook. I can read a recipe so well. Better than anyone you've ever met. I can read a recipe so good. But I cannot throw together just random ingredients that I have in my house. So, I've learned to cook easy meals. Easy meals include like throwing some stuff in a tortilla and grilling it, or searing it, or making pasta or crock pot meals. And a lot of these really helped me in college, because even though I wasn't supposed to, me and my roommates had a lot of cooking things. We had an air fryer. We had one of those like portable stovetops. We made pasta all the time. It was great. One time we did set off the smoke alarm from the air fryer though. But cooking easy meals helps because they're also usually cheap. Usually easy meals are cheap because it's just a couple ingredients and you throw it together. So when you're younger and broke, it works. Next is make your bed at any point during the day. Bro, what is up with this damn light? Getting into a made bed is so fantastic. I cannot express how much I love getting into a made bed. This honestly might be different for different people, because Kelly hates getting into a made bed. He just sleeps like a menace and likes his sheets all untucked. I make my bed literally at any point during the day. I don't get up and make my bed because I get up and drink coffee. Personally, I can't do anything till I drink coffee. It's not even the act of, like, it's not even the caffeine that I need. It's just like the act of drinking coffee and like my mind waking up just because I'm like sitting there chilling, you know? But even if I'm making my bed like 5 seconds before I get into it, it's so amazing. Read. I know what you're gonna say. Oh yeah, read your self-help book and blah, blah, blah. No, read whatever you want. It's just a great way to stimulate your brain. Like, I am about to finish reading the After series. I've seen all the movies, but I love them. It helps me read. When I did the 75 Hard Challenge, I read 2 or 3 self-help books, and I don't remember anything about them. But you know what I do remember? All the sex scenes in the After series. It's just, I like it better. What's wrong with that? Just kidding. I don't read it just for the sex. I just like it better because it intrigues me more. I just prefer a story. The next one is everyone needs someone sometimes. It is okay to ask for help because as humans, we are not meant to do everything alone. If we were meant to do everything alone, there would be one person living on Earth at one point, at every single point in time. I'm not saying that you need to go to therapy. I'm not saying that you need to confide in your neighbor or your great grandma who's on her deathbed. I'm just saying, if you need to talk to your mom about something that's happening, talk to her. You need help? Do it. Ask someone for help. I am a very much an independent woman. You know what I can't do? Bugs. You know what's in my basement? A lot of bugs. You know what I do every single Sunday? I clean my house. You know who cleans the basement though? Kelly. There's bugs down there. I don't like it. Ask him for help. That's a really bad example. When I come up with examples on the spot, they're just not good, okay? So, shut up. The next one is that dreams require sacrifice. And I really like this piece of advice because, especially on social media, people make it out to be like they dreamed of this is what they've wanted to do, and they don't really show the like sacrifices that they've had to make. Like, to be rich, you have to spend money. You have to spend money to be rich. To learn something new, like, you have to sacrifice something. If your dream is to, I just mentioned 75 hard. So if your dream is to complete 75 hard, you have to sacrifice something. 75 hard is hard. Like, there's 2 45-minute workouts a day. So what is that? That is at least an hour and a half out of your day just strictly to working out. Then you have to read, then you have to drink a gallon of water, not to mention all the peeing you're doing with all that gallon of water. Like, that's a lot. There's so many things that you have to sacrifice for the big picture. You move in with your boyfriend, you might have to sacrifice the better office because you have more clothes and there's not room. That's a personal example. Number 18 on the list is fail again and again and again and again. Just fail. And learn how to come back from your failure. Because you're not going to get everything right on the first try. Like, think about when you were in like preschool and you were learning how to tie your shoe. And, okay, maybe this is just something that happened to me, but I was learning how to tie my shoes in preschool, and I was given so many different ways to do it, like the, and then the bunnies, and then you twist them, or just the bunnies, and double, and blah 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 blah, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it for a long time, and I failed, and I failed, and I failed, and now I can tie a shoe. I would hope at 21 years old I can tie a shoe, but maybe you don't know how to tie your shoe at 21 years old. So maybe that's another piece of advice. Learn how to tie your shoes. Okay, next piece of advice is start saving money as soon as possible. Even just a small amount. Like $50 a month. Put it into an account. Invest it. Just put it in freaking cash if you're saving it for like a trip or something. It doesn't matter what you do with the money, but don't spend it right away. Like, learn how to save money. Because if you can't learn how to save money, then you're never gonna know the value of a dollar because you just keep spending it. So learning how to save your money, even in small amounts, is going to help you in the long run. Learning how to save like larger amounts, and learning if you have a lot of money that even though you have it, you don't have to spend it necessarily. This next one is one of my favorite ones besides the last one. Laugh and make other people laugh. I don't know about you guys, I love to laugh. I think it's one of the most amazing feelings in the world when you're laughing so hard that you nearly pee your pants, or you cry, or your face hurts so bad, but you just can't stop laughing, so it just continues to hurt. Like, that is one of the best feelings ever, and giving that to someone else is even better. The last one that I'm going to end on is, most people want the same things in life, but you have to want them more. This ties into a lot of other pieces in this video, but it's truly something that has helped me get to where I am. and realize what I actually want in life. For example, everyone wants money. Everyone wants to, like, not have to worry financially, but you have to want that more. And everyone wants to live a long life so that they can see their kids grow up and their grandkids grow up, but you have to want it more. You have to be healthy enough to live that long life. There's so many things in this life that nearly everyone else wants, so you just have to learn to want it more. Anyways, you guys, that was my 21 pieces of advice before you turn 21. I hope that some of these pieces of advice were good. Like I said, it was just something that I kind of threw together. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, subscribe. I would appreciate it. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you next week. I'm so bad at giving examples. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not an advice giver. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a 21-year-old telling y'all what I wish I knew before I turned 21.